Look what the boys gave me.
Look what you gave me.
I suppose now you're all ready for your trip to New York.
Oh, I've been ready for weeks. I'm so excited. We've planned this for so long.
You see, this is our second honeymoon.
Yeah, a second honeymoon with the same wife is most commendable.
Well, say goodbye to Mrs. Arnold for me, and as soon as we get back, I'll go over and tell her about the new style.
Goodbye.
Just think, Chris, 2 whole weeks to ourselves and in New York. Just when I was feeling so good.
Now, Mary, that's not nice.
Hello there.
Hello.
Well, how do you like it?
Oh, fine. Say, do you mind if I move that picture of Joe back a little bit?
No, go ahead.
Thanks.
He's afraid the sun might fade it. Oh, I see. You know, if anything happens to that picture, you'd better leave town.
I guess I'd better. Is it a good likeness?
Oh, I wouldn't know. I've never had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Parker.
You haven't.
No. I know all about him, though. I could write his biography, complete with footnotes. I know what Chris and he did in grammar school, and high school, and college.
Chris told me they played football together.
Yes, I know about that, too. Play by play. How Chris ran interference while Joe carried the ball. Chris is still running interference for him.
Really? But Mr. Parker isn't in the country, is he?
No. Oh, no. Oceans don't bother Chris where Joe's concerned.
Oh, Damon and Pythias, eh?
Only more so. Mr. Damon was a piker compared to Mr. Price.
Hey, I heard that.
Oh, I've committed late majesty. Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you when we get back from New York. Now, Mrs. Price.
Oh, Chris! Chris, are you sure you want this suit?
I can't hear you.
Do you want to take this suit?
What suit?
The striped one.
Yeah, if there's room, but I thought you weren't going to take a lot of stuff.
Well, I'm not making room for what I'm taking. It's for what I'm bringing back.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
Hey, mister, I'm almost through packing. What are you doing down there?
Hiding some of the family possessions.
What possessions?
2 bottles of scotch.
The boys at the bank wanted me to put it in the vault, but I decided not to put temptation in their way.
Oh, Chris, you're just going to love my new hat.
Oh, I never noticed your hat, honey. All I see are your beautiful eyes.
Are you sure you're only hiding that scotch? Oh, there's the front doorbell. Who is it?
Telegram for Mr. Price.
What's at the front door?
It's a telegram for you.
I'll get it.
Oh, don't be so tragic, darling. Telegrams aren't always bad news.
The last one was.
Last one. Last one.
Oh, you're pretty cute, aren't you? Maybe that empty alcove will refresh your memory.
That wasn't a telegram, that was a cablegram.
Whatever it was from Bad News Parker.
Well, what do you do when your best friend cables you that he's in jail in a foreign country with cobras hissing at him?
You send him $2,000 we'd saved up to buy a baby grand piano.
But Joe's my pal. You wouldn't feel right playing that piano if I let him sit there in prison.
You mean the way we sat on the pier on Lake Michigan and spent our honeymoon watching the seagulls? After we got there and found that Joe had taken the boat you chartered and went off chasing gangsters.
And he caught them. That was Joe's first big story. That made Joe's reputation. As a matter of fact, that story was responsible for getting his job as foreign correspondent.
It got us splinters squirming around waiting for him. Well, it did one thing for us, honey. It made me sure our marriage was all right.
It did?
Yeah. Any marriage that could survive that honeymoon could survive any catastrophe. Get that horrible little hotel.
Oh, Mary.
Oh, Chris, kiss me real hard.
This second honeymoon will make up for all the things we missed on the first one.
Will it, darling?
Sure. And stop worrying about Joe. I read an article of his yesterday in the Times. He's over in China.
Maybe he's run out of rice.
Whoa.
Oh.
I hope you're the bearer of good news, my boy.
I don't know whether it's good news or bad. I didn't read this one. Hello, Mrs. Price. Thanks.
See, just a plain telegram, not a cablegram. Feel pretty silly? Well, open it, honey.
I've got that awful feeling. You open it.
Pretty old-fashioned to think that telegrams always bring bad news. Mary, it's from Joe.
That's what I was afraid of.
No, he doesn't have to get bailed out. He's coming here today. Listen to this. Arriving Central Airport this evening. We'll be at your house around 7 o'clock. Can't wait to meet Mary. Be there. Important. Joe. Isn't that swell? Have you got woman's intuition?
Yeah. Have you got the railroad tickets and the money?
Right in the old sock.
Uh-huh.
Mary, what's the matter, dear?
Every time we plan anything, every time we get our hearts set on something, up pops Mr. Parker.
Oh, now, Mary, you don't know Joe. Just wait till you meet him.
I'll wait to meet him till it's time to catch the 902 for New York tonight. Joe Parker or no Joe Parker, I'm going to be on that train. I'd love to have you along. Oh, Chris, now fun's fun, but it's almost 8:30.
I'm mixing a cocktail for Joe. Are you really going to wear that hat?
Well, certainly. What's the matter with it?
It looks like an ashtray. Why don't you wear the big one?
Because I like this one. Anyway, the trunk's gone, and you don't know a thing about hats.
Oh, I guess not. Did you say the trunk is gone?
Mm-hmm, it's on its way.
Well, suppose Joe's just a little bit late.
Well, then you pin a note on your pillow and tell him you've run off with the woman you love.
Oh, be serious.
I am. Oh, look. You're a darling. You're wonderful. And I love you more than's decent. But this time I'm going to be the boss, and we're going to New York.
We can go tomorrow.
Tonight. Come on. Get your coat on. I'll finish this.
Put a little more ice in.
No prussic acid?
Oh, you'll change your tune when you meet him.
Get your coat on, dear.
I still don't like that hat.
You'll like it less when you get the bill for it.
Chris! Joe!
You're Mary. Chris, you old son of
Joe,
a gun.
boy, am I glad you got
Let me
here.
take a look at you,
Gee,
man.
you look great. I thought you were in China.
I was last Thursday.
That's just what I told you, Mary. Oh. Well, this is Joe.
Well, I suspected that.
Say, that is the prettiest hat I've ever seen. And you got shoes on. Oh, you don't know how swell it is to be back in a country where women wear shoes. That's a little late, but I guess a guy's entitled to kiss the bride, eh, Chris?
Oh, I don't know. Mary never quite forgave you for not showing up at our wedding.
Yeah, we waited for you for 3 hours, and then the family started to talk about shotguns.
Mary, you brightened many lonely hours for me.
Huh?
You know, she is the picture, that picture you sent me.
Oh, I sent him one of those big ones.
You know, that hat really gets me. Say, how did he get you to marry him?
He didn't get me. I got him.
That's why I'm living here quietly in Catoosin while you ramble all over the world.
Ah, you lucky people. Maybe this is what I'll do.
Oh, not you. Can you imagine him living in a town like Catoosin? Give you 2 weeks, you'd be off to London, Paris, Cairo.
No, Chris. That's all finished.
In a jam?
It's 18 minutes to 9.
18 minutes to...
We're supposed to catch a train.
Well, sorry it has to be hello and goodbye, but we're catching the 902 for New York.
Stick around and make yourself at home. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Do that. The bedroom's upstairs and the whiskey's in the furnace. Here's our cab, Chris. Goodbye.
I hate to run off and leave you like this.
I'll ride down to the station with you.
Good. Switch off the light and shut the door.
We want to catch the 902.
Don't need to rush, Mrs. Price.
That's what you think. Well, Joe, you're perfectly welcome to stay in the house.
He's going to the station with us.
Hmm?
Let's sell him the idea of going to New York, honey.
I'm afraid you can't do that. I don't dare show my face in that town just now.
Aha! Oh, if
been in lots of jams, but this is the jam, Bob. The one to end all jams. It all started as a kibble.
As a what?
A kibble.
That's a word Chris and I made up when we were at school.
You see, if Joe tells you something is not true, he's kidding you. If I confirm it, I'm kibbling you.
This time I kibble myself a wife.
Are you married?
No.
No, that was the kibble. See, the manager of our Cairo office cabled to Boston, New York, that I was secretly married. I wanted 10 days off.
Cairo manager plays kibble, too.
Yeah, the boss cabled me and I admitted it. Then the avalanche started. He sent me a $1,000 wedding present.
Say, this kibble business pays.
Sometimes they backfire. I was manager of our office in India. The boss started writing letters to my wife, so I wrote letters back from my wife. He bought us a house in New Delhi, more letters back and forth. He sent presents. Once I tried to kill off my imaginary wife with fever.
Oh, I killed the goose that lays the golden egg.
Oh, if I'd only gone through with it, I wouldn't be in this mess now. Look at this cablegram.
Oh, just give it to Chris. I never touched them.
Report immediately, New York office. Bring Mrs. Parker. Important she be here. Arthur Truesdale Worth. Oh, are you worried about this?
Well, of course.
Why, it's simple. All you have to do is get some girl, slip her $10, take her to the office, boss meet the wife. Hello, goodbye, goodbye.
It won't work.
Why not?
Unfortunately, I sent the boss a picture of the bride.
Oh, I thought you said he was smart.
Well, it seemed smart at the time.
Was she wearing one of those little native veils in the picture?
No. She's an American girl.
Oh. Do you know where to find her?
Well, yes, but I don't think she... No.
Oh, I've got that awful feeling.
I'll open the window.
Maybe if I talk to her.
Well, that might help, but... No.
Does Chris know her, too?
Well, as a matter of fact, yes.
I do?
I think I do, too.
You do. Oh. This is gonna be easy. All you have to do is pop in the office with Joe, meet the boss, you're Mrs. Parker. Pop right out and get back to me, you're Mrs. Price.
Yeah.
It's as easy as that, huh?
Sure, it'll be a lark, like some of the stuff we used to pull before we were married, when we were young.
You mean way back, before we grew ancient and lost our sense of humor?
She's gotta do it.
Mary, you're wonderful. You're saving my life.
Oh, don't thank me. You're giving me a chance to recapture my youth.
We'll bail him out, huh, Mary? I'll get your ticket, Joe.
Right.
If I do this for you, will you go away and hide?
I promise you won't see me the entire time you're in New York.
Well, remember that.
I will.
Please.
Well, my husband
Mr.
has-
Price will be in a minute.
Better get aboard, lady. We're running late.
Right.
All aboard!
Oh, wait a minute. My husband's not here yet.
Where is he?
Well, here, Chris, hurry up.
Mary, you've got my wallet. I couldn't buy Joe's ticket.
Oh, come on. Get on. We'll pay the conductor.
You can't get on. There's no accommodations left.
Well, I'll be in New York at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
I'll sit up in the smoker.
You'd have to sit in somebody's lap. We're booked solid.
I'm sorry.
Stop the train and let him off.
No, let Joe stay
Chris!
on. I'll catch the morning train.
No.
Goodbye.
No,
See you in New York tomorrow night.
Chris, oh, stop. Chris.
That was your wife, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Left you, huh?
Yeah. No.
What a guy. Who in the world would do a thing like this but Chris?
Nobody.
Good morning, Mrs. Parker.
These two are mine.
We'll take care of those, Mrs. Parker. Now, if you let me have your trunk check. Where's Joe?
Oh, Joe.
Hello, Dennis.
Oh, Joe.
Well, Mary, we must be pretty important people when the boss's right-hand man comes down to meet us.
Your trunk check, Mrs. Parker.
Oh, yes, certainly.
How's AT?
Oh, fine.
Good.
Now,
Don't you think it would be safer if you told me something about our married life before I meet your boss?
Yes, it would be, but not with old Big Ears around.
I'm not good at mind reading.
well, AT is waiting at the office for you.
I think I'd better go to the hotel and freshen up a bit before I meet the boss, dear.
No, I think we'd better go right along. We can't keep AT waiting, can we, Joe?
Hello, Joe. Good to see you. How are you? Hello, pal. How are you? Good to see you. Hello. Hi. How are you, Joe? Hello. How are you?
Why, hello, Mr. Parker and Mrs. Parker. Aren't you both thrilled to be here?
Oh, indeed we are.
Speak for yourself, dear.
The Parkers are here, Mr. Worth.
Mrs. Parker likes India.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's the curry and the kibbles. I'm crazy about them.
have killed you in Bombay.
I ought to have killed you in Katusin.
Well, hello, Mr. Worth.
Hello, Joe. Hello, Mary. You don't mind if I call you Mary?
Oh, I certainly wish you would.
Stand right here, please. That's it.
Oh,
right on your mark.
Professor.
Hiya, Joe.
Hello,
Hold
Tom.
those marks with him. I'll take your coat.
This is President Reed of Paulson University, Mrs. Parker and Mr. Parker. President Reed has a little surprise for you. Go ahead, Tony.
On behalf of
Get a
the...
little closer, Professor. That's it.
on behalf of the
Wait a minute,
trustees-
Professor. Wait till you say go. Turn them over, boys. Okay. Nice big smile, Mrs. Parker. Joe, show your ivories.
Speed.
Okay, Professor, action.
Joseph Parker, on behalf of the trustees of Paulson University, it is my honor and privilege to present to you, in recognition of your outstanding and distinguished performance as a foreign correspondent, this year's Paulson Prize for Journalism. And this honorarium of $1,000, which I suppose I'd better give to Mrs. Parker.
Oh,
Well, thank you very much, Professor.
Congratulations.
Wait a minute, Joe. Say something.
Well, I assure you, when I came into this office today, I didn't expect anything like this. Neither did Mrs. Parker, I'm sure. I thought we'd just pop in the office, say hello to the boss, and then be on our merry way. I'll take this certificate, have it framed, and show it off all the rest of my life. I don't know what Mrs. Parker is going to do with that $1,000, but I hope she's going to give it to me.
oh, I think I'll use it to buy a baby grand piano. I've wanted one for such a long time.
That's great. Thanks. Nice going, Joe.
got everything you want?
Congratulations, Joe. Mary, this is our chance to get a little better acquainted. Mary, we'll have a little cup of coffee.
Oh,
Remember what you wrote on it?
oh, do I remember? To the boss, our friend and guardian angel, who has been more than a father to both of us, Mary Parker.
That's a beautiful sentiment, Mary.
I must confess, Joe had something to do with it.
When I saw this, I knew Joe had married the right girl. And your letters,
Letters?
especially that one from Punjab Tanhit.
Punjab Tanhit.
Yes.
Yes, it's a beautiful place.
Really? Sounded wretched.
It did?
But I suppose any place is beautiful when one has just been snatched back from the grave. I must get that letter. You know, I was tempted to publish this letter. It's such a perfect story of what marriage really means. You worship him, don't you, Mary?
Yeah.
Joe should hear this letter.
Yes, I'll get him. Joe! Oh, Joe! Oh, I'm not very modest, am I?
Call me?
There's something I want you to hear.
Oh, that's one of Mary's letters.
One of the most beautiful a wife ever wrote about a husband. Sit down, Mary. Sit down, Joe. Dear Mr. Worth, we are in Punjab Tanhit. It's a frightful place, horrible and primitive. And as I lay here in the native hut, I am the happiest and most grateful woman in the world. Joe alone has nursed me for 4 long weeks. His love was my only medicine. He has shielded me with his body against the rains, and has day and night fought for the life to stay in me when so often it seemed to be slipping away. Just think, Mary, I might never have met you.
No.
I fear in these weeks he has poured his own vitality into me, that I have been kept alive by his heartbeats rather than my own.
Oh, read that again.
Certainly. I fear in these weeks he has poured his own vitality into me, that I have been kept alive by his heartbeats rather than my own. In the darkest hours, his voice kept telling me not to go, and his eyes looking down at me made me want to live. He is gaunt and thin and worn now, and my strength is only slowly returning. But we have something now that binds us closer together, if that is possible, than we ever had before. And this I wanted to share with you, our friend, Mary. That, to me, is a classic.
Boss, I'd like to have a copy of that letter.
You shall have it, my boy.
Mary, I didn't realize you knew I was there with you half the time. We nearly lost her then. I shudder to think what a close call that was.
Too close for comfort. Oh, I think if you don't mind, Mr. Worth, I'd like to go to the hotel and freshen up.
But we're due at the university for lunch. Oh, Dennis. Dennis?
Yes, sir.
What time was that luncheon?
Oh, I had that set back to 1:45. And Mr. Parker's talk to the School of Journalism is at 2:15. Then, the tea at President Reed's, well, that'll be about 4 o'clock. And that little cocktail party for the Parkers and members of the staff will probably be, 5 to 5:30 on.
Let me have the Cleveland paper.
Didn't come in tonight.
Oh, that's funny.
First time that's happened since the big blizzard.
Made up your mind to follow her, huh?
Yeah.
Chris!
What? Oh, hello, Mr. Arnold. Mighty nice of you to come down and see me off.
Chris, I have to talk to you.
But the train's leaving.
But you're not.
Well, I don't want to miss this train.
I don't want to attract any attention here.
But, Mr. Arnold,
Ain't you gonna go on this one?
Mr. Arnold,
Shh. All right, Mr. Arnold.
bank examiners. What seems to be wrong?
We'd like you to answer that, Mr. Price.
Mr. Elkins, this bank is in excellent shape.
We'll be the judges of that.
Who's responsible for all this?
You, Christopher.
Yes, you.
Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Jefferson Parker arrived in New York today, and Mr. Parker was awarded the Paulson Prize for journalism. Mrs. Parker was present at the ceremonies.
A man who'd live with another man's wife might steal another man's money.
When the people in town read this...
They're not going to read it. Brown was on the Cleveland train and spotted them.
I bought them all up. Before anybody saw them, too.
If you hadn't, a scandal like this might have caused a run on the bank.
How long have you been living with this other man's wife?
She's my wife.
Then what's she doing living in New York with this man as her husband?
No matter how you try to explain it, Chris, it's a scandal. And scandals are bad for banks.
It's not a scandal, Mr. Arnold. This fella is Joe Parker.
We can read.
Joe Parker's my best friend. You've heard me speak of him a lot.
But that's Mary, and it says...
Never mind what it says. Of course it's Mary. Oh, she expects me on that train.
Just a minute. Don't talk about any trouble at the bank. Somebody might be listening in.
Whispers spread like wildfire in this town.
Mr. Arnold, don't look so worried. I know how you feel. It's a terrible mix-up. Here's what happened. It was a kibble.
What's that?
A kibble? Oh, hello? Give me long distance. New York City, Randolph Hotel. I want to talk to Mrs. Parker.
Hello.
Oh, this is lovely, Mr. Worth.
All right, operator.
Beautiful flowers, thank you. I can hardly appreciate them. I think I'm on the verge of collapse.
It has been a very trying day, my dear.
Chris!
Are you down?
Where is he?
Chris, are you downstairs? Well, what are you doing there? Yeah?
Darling, where are you?
Chris is still in Catoosin.
Yes?
What happened? I thought you were on the train. Oh, darling.
He's our closest friend. He's a swell guy.
Oh, but you said you were going to be on the train tonight.
He promised to meet us here.
Oh, I don't care. Now, this is supposed to be our second honeymoon.
Oh, Chris!
And you promised that nothing was going to spoil it.
Mr. Worth is here. You know, my boss. I want you to meet him sometime. He's right here. He's right alongside of me.
We haven't been in the hotel all day. We've been to luncheons and teas, and I've been having a wonderful time listening to Joe make speeches.
Tried to phone us today.
I knew it would turn out like this. You know, I knew the minute that telegram came that
Oh, Chris,
all our plans were going to be
you
messed
promised to
up.
be here, and Mary's disappointed, and I'm disappointed. We're both disappointed. Oh, you should be here now, Chris. Come on, but Mary
But
is
you
so
get off
upset.
the phone and let me talk to him.
Now, Chris, you hold on, because Mary wants to talk to you.
Now, Chris, you listen to me. I'm not going to move out of this hotel until you get here.
Oh, that'll get him.
It will.
What?
He's trying to explain now.
But, Chris, why can't you tell me? Oh, this is terrible. I don't think you want to come. No, I don't. I'm so unhappy. I just can't talk to you.
Now, Chris, you see what happens when you don't show up?
Joe, you got to turn on the old charm. Take her out. Show her a good time. Yeah, take her dancing. You know, go out on the town. And kiss her goodnight for me.
I don't think she'd like that. Well, I'll do what I can. Goodbye. Ever since that time at Punjab Town Heat, whenever Mary gets disappointed, she gets hysterical. Doesn't happen very often, just once in a while. Poor kid. Hasn't been easy.
Well, I won't bother to say goodnight.
Perhaps that'd be better. Good night, Mr. Worth.
Good night, Joe.
Oh, go away. If there was a fire axe here, I'd heave it at you.
Mary,
I told you to go away.
Chris must have had a good reason for missing that train. He'll explain. Look, Mary, get yourself all draped out and we'll see the town. Then when Chris gets here, you'll know where to take him. How about it?
No.
Oh, now, Mary, come on. We'll have a lot of laughs.
No.
Mary, now, will you be reasonable?
No.
22 East 52nd Street. Just a few turnip greens for you.
I haven't had an orchid since our wedding.
You don't mean husband stopped buying orchids after the honeymoon?
Small-town bankers' wives don't wear orchids. Makes the depositors nervous.
Well, I'm glad to hear it's not Chris's fault. If he turned out to be that kind of a heel, I'd say it's a good thing you left him. Joke, just a joke.
Lose something, sir?
Oh, no, just watching the dancers. I'm in the shoe business.
Oh.
And when I'm in New York, I like to see what the ladies are wearing. My customers, they like the New York styles.
Oh, you're from out of town?
Oh, yes, sir. Catoosin, Ohio.
Where?
Catoosin. It's the smartest little town in the Midwest. And I sell the smartest people in it. Why, I can tell more about a woman by looking at her foot than I can by looking at her face.
I bet you can at that.
Nice to have you back, Mr. Parker.
Thank you. Bring us two of your specials.
Yes, sir.
Hurry for someone from home.
Who?
The biggest little busybody in Catoosin.
Why, Mary Price, how are you? Oh, I'm so glad to see a familiar face. And when I saw you and Chris, I thought that was Chris. Isn't Chris here?
I'm afraid you made a slight mistake.
A mistake? Why, I've sold her every pair of shoes she's worn for the past 4 years. Is that so, Mrs. Price?
The lady is not Mrs. Price.
She's Mrs. Christopher Price of Catoosin. If you want to be technical about it, sir.
No. She is Sunakut Tepeli of Istanbul. Or Mrs. Joseph Jefferson Parker, if you want to be technical. Halen fiati nekadadir. Yuyuk anem için. İstiyorum. en Yakan Hotel Neresi. Oh, well, that's very nice. Mrs. Parker says that she's highly complimented that you took her for an American girl. She likes American girls.
I sell Mrs. Price shoes. And I'd swear...
Please.
No. They look so much alike that I just wanted to see if they had the same size feet.
Sir, a woman's feet are never mentioned in Turkey.
I'm sorry. But it happens to be my business.
It is none of your business. And good night. Manyoma sijaksu. Koyunus.
Urban Nichols. He owns the French bouterie in Katoos.
I don't think he knows who he is himself right now. He's really mixed up. Say, your Turkish amazed me.
Imagine what it did to me.
If he sees my slippers, we're cooked.
What's the matter?
He's gone.
Well, your Turkish must have driven him into the night.
Well, I'm glad it was that bad.
Well, let's drink a toast to the grandest guy in the world.
My husband.
To Chris.
My poor old knee joints just won't take these dances any longer. Well, I've torn my stocking.
Believe it or not, I was just trying to see a pair of shoes.
My shoes? Why?
No, that woman that's going out.
Don't mind her. She always folds up around this time.
I was wondering how you'd feel if I went around introducing you as Mr. Price.
Well, I feel like a very lucky guy, Mary.
Oh, Chris always told me you had a good line.
Aren't you Joe Parker?
Yes.
I saw you beat Notre Dame.
Well, that was a very unlucky day for the Irish.
A lucky day for me. I won $500.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wish I had.
Oh, that was the greatest run I ever saw on the football field.
Well, I had a lot of help.
Yeah.
Hey, wasn't Chris in that game?
Oh, I should say he was. He took out an end, two backs, and a safety man. If that meant for him, that guy'd have lost his 500.
Nobody ever comes up to Chris like that when we're out.
Well, that's the fate of the blocking bag. He does all the work, and the glory goes to the ball carrier.
Didn't he ever want to carry the ball?
No, he seemed content to bowl him over so I could get through.
If I were Chris, I'd want to carry the ball once in a while.
You'll get your chance any minute. Inside some of those are orders for gifts.
Oh, really?
As they float gently to the earth, all you have to do is reach up with your tender arms and grab one.
What kind of gifts?
Oh, perfume, stockings, handbags, theater tickets.
Free?
Free for all.
Stockings, huh?
Just grab a balloon and hang on.
Well, this time you're going to see a Price carry the ball.
Okay, lady. You're on your own, and good luck.
You watch.
Wait a minute. You won a prize.
Well, I hope it's a first aid kit.
Waiter, get someone else that check. Waiter.
Pop Warner pulled that hidden ball trick on Harvard with the Carlisle Indians.
Did the Harvard boys carry pins, too?
Here, Mrs. Parker, this is for recovering that fumble.
I owe it all to my coach.
Well, he'll enjoy this, too.
Oh, really?
Uh-oh.
What?
The shoehound.
Well, is she a Turk or is she not a Turk?
Could be. Could not be.
He's gone.
Who is that? Calm the people. Come out of there. Come on. Come on.
Don't.
Hey, what are you doing? Come on, get out.
No. I was just trying to look at a pair of shoes.
We're at the hotel, sir.
Wake up, Mary.
I don't want to wake up. I'm so comfortable.
Well, better try once more around the park, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's you.
Get up.
Hold it, Cabby, hold it. Plenty of bitters in that, Harry?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Blanche. Oh, how are you, sweet? Joe Parker.
Listen to me, you roving Romeo. I don't want married men calling me up like this.
But Blanche.
But nothing.
Oh, Harry, make that a little drier, will you, please?
Very good, sir.
Harry, put a twist of lemon peel in that, will you?
All right, sir.
Hello, Jenny. Oh, it's good to hear your voice. How are you, sweet? Yeah, well, don't hang up now. Joe Parker. Well, hello back. Oh, you are? Oh, who's the lucky guy? Oh, you have, huh? Little girl. Is it good and dry?
I think so, sir.
No. I was talking to the waiter. Yeah. Oh, yes, sure. We'll call you. Love to see the little girl. All right. Bye, Jenny. Oh, that's perfect, Harry. Had to repeat that.
All right, sir.
Susie, like Susie, ooh, da da da da da da. Hello, Susan? Yes, it certainly is. How are you, sweetheart? Listen, Harry, get 2 tall Pilsner glasses, remember? And fill it with shaved ice. Yeah. You know where I am? Yeah, that's right. Come on over, will you, Susie? Same bar, same drink, same girl. Hi. Oh, that picture in the newspapers? Oh, I'll explain all that to you when you get here. All right, hurry now, will you, Susie? Okay. Bye. Harry, sprinkle some cognac on top. Twisted lemon peels, a bottle of the best wine in a bucket.
What are we celebrating?
Chris, am I glad you showed up. How'd you get here so soon?
Lucky enough to get the noon plane. I was plenty worried after talking to Mary. Where is she?
She's in the beauty parlor getting a rebuild job. Come on, sit down. Harry, one of the same from a friend here. Better whip up a couple of extras, too.
And you still want the wine?
Oh, yes. Put it over at the table. That's for Susie. Later.
Who's Susie?
Haven't I ever told you about her?
No.
Oh, yes, I have. There is only one Susie, no matter where you roam.
Well, never mind about Susie. What about Mary?
Oh, Mary is swell. She's having the time of her life. I did what you asked me. We went out and painted this town red last night, and this is a big town. We didn't run out of paint until 6:30 this morning. Hey, what held you up?
Oh, a flying wedge of bank directors. You and Mary had a picture in the Cleveland papers. Luckily, one of the bank directors saw the picture, brought up all the papers, and put them in the closet with the other skeletons.
Oh, I wish she'd been around here.
How do you like living with my wife?
Mary is great. She's everything you said she was. And more. But I'll be glad to give her back to you. You knew Susie like I know Susie.
Susie, huh? I got here just at the right time.
Oh, perfect timing, Bryce. Perfect timing.
Oh, your husband is right over there.
Here's our wife now.
Chris!
Mary.
Touch the same for Mrs. Parker. Come on, Mary, sit down. Well, here's to the three of us.
Gee, Mary, I've got a lot to tell you.
I have a room in your name right across the hall.
Yes, I know. My bag's up there.
Why don't you two go on up there and save my reputation?
Oh, isn't he considerate?
He just wants to get rid of us. He's waiting for Susie.
Who's Susie?
Oh, very special, madam. If you knew Susie like I... Oh, flowers. Oh, Mary, if I have any trouble selling Susie a load of clams, will you cooperate?
Well, what do you think I'm doing?
Being very familiar with Mr. Price.
You have a lot of explaining to do.
Oh, darling, wait till I tell you what happened. I was already on the train when Mr. Arnold came.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Parker.
Who's that?
That's the house detective.
And your pictures were all over the front pages of the Cleveland paper.
And everyone in Catoosa knew?
No. Old man Brown bought them all up. Then came the bank examiner.
The bank examiner?
He said your husband's bank was in excellent shape.
Oh, Chris, now, what am I going to do with you? We'll get all dressed up and really do the town. I know all the places to take you.
I can't. My bag's not here.
Oh, well, get it.
Oh, way over there across the hall?
It's way over there across the hall. Now, go get it.
Now?
Now.
Now?
Oh, you fool. Go on.
Beg your pardon, I thought this was 2112.
Well, it is.
I'm Arthur Truesdale Worth.
Oh, Joe's boss. I'm Chris Price, Joe's friend.
Oh.
He isn't here now.
Oh, he isn't?
No.
I'll wait.
I don't know when he'll be back.
I'll wait, thank you. So, you're supposed to be Joe's best friend, eh?
I am his best friend.
Who is it, dear?
It's Mr. Worth. Excuse me a minute. I'll tell her you're here.
Did he go? Look.
Oh, no wonder. He probably thinks it's you.
Well, I'm glad you think it's funny.
Well, don't you? Imagine losing your reputation by kissing your own husband.
You go out there and tell him I have a headache or something and get him out of here.
But, Mary, I just can't throw Arthur Truesdale Worth out on his ear.
Well, I don't care what you toss him out on. Enough's enough. I'm tired of jokes. Now, you get rid of him.
I'll get rid of him, but I've got to be diplomatic. We don't want to get Joe in a jam.
Oh, Joe. Look, let's just think about us. We'll pretend that we don't know a single human being in New York but each other.
Oh. Mary has a headache. She hopes that you'll excuse her, Mr. Worth.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A little bit too much excitement, I guess. She's not used to it.
She's lived in some mighty exciting places the past few years.
That's right.
Lived there very happily with her husband.
Of course, Mr. Worth.
As his best friend, you undoubtedly know that.
Oh, indeed I do.
My idea, Mr. Price, is that friendship is based on decency and loyalty and the respect two men, both men, feel for each other.
You're absolutely right, sir. Absolutely.
A man envies his friend nothing, nor does he covet.
Oh, covet.
Neither his property, nor his goods, nor his wife. You've read the Ten Commandments, I suppose?
Oh, yes.
All of them?
Oh, yes, indeed.
They are still the basis of our social law.
You bet they are. Love thy neighbor.
That means to respect the dignity of your neighbor, his home, his family.
Oh, Chris, can you come here?
You don't mind. I mean, she probably wants a headache powder. Excuse me.
Certainly.
Come in.
Try and go right to sleep. Nap will do her a world of good.
Perhaps I'd better phone for my doctor.
Oh, no. That won't be necessary. She gets these all the time. She says, doesn't like a lot of fuss. She told me. Well, I guess Joe won't be here for some time. We'd better run along. Let her get her nap. You know, I just feel like one of the family. I've known them both for so long.
You're forgetting your bag.
Oh, so I am. Goodbye. We're leaving now.
You know, I like talking to you.
You do?
Yes, I'd like to get better acquainted.
Well, thank you, Mr. Worth.
Why don't you run down to my place on Long Island tonight? Stay for the weekend.
Well, tonight? Thank you, but not tonight. I have a big date.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Now, goodbye. I'll tell Joe you were here.
No, aren't you coming along with...
No, I've decided to stay here a while longer. Thank you.
Now, look here, my good man. When did you get in? I've been standing around here waiting for you for half an hour.
I've seen a lot of things working in hotels for 20 years. Take my tip, son. Don't start stealing other men's wives. It means scandal, disgrace, and ruination. Especially when old man Worth is in the picture.
He's a hard man and a powerful one. If he thought you were trying to double-cross one of his friends, he'd smear you over the front pages of his papers so fast, you'd be a marked man no matter where you went. You'll come by and thank me for this someday. Probably check in at the hotel with your own little wife. Now, you go across the street, get a room. Women won't worry you over there.
Give you a chance to think things over, son.
Susie, you must trust me.
Does your wife trust you?
But I tell you, that's all over. That's finished.
I wish I could believe you.
It was just a marriage of convenience. She was in China. She was sick and homeless. The man she had come out to marry was my best friend. He died in my arms. Get her back to the States, he said. Get her back before it's too late. But there was only one way to get her back. So, in a day or two, it'll be all arranged. She'll be free, and I'll be free. Who's hissing me? Oh, here she is now. Excuse me.
Oh, hadn't I better leave?
Oh, no, of course not. You're just in time.
For what?
Susie is over there.
Oh, how nice.
I need your help. She thinks you might not like it if I take her out tonight, but I told her all was over between us, and all I need is for you to confirm it.
Is that all?
She thinks maybe I'm not telling her the truth.
Oh, imagine that. You just leave me alone with her for a few minutes.
You'll fix it?
I'll do my best.
Oh, you are a pal.
I'm Mrs. Parker. Joe'll be back in just a minute.
Joe and I are old friends.
Yes, he's told me that. I guess he must be glad to be in New York and see all his old friends again.
You don't seem very cheerful.
Oh, I'm all right. As long as Joe's happy, I don't think anything else matters.
I'm sorry. I thought everything was over between you.
Oh, it is. Believe me, it is. It's just hard, I suppose, for a woman to admit she's failed, that her whole life, everything she'd planned is a failure.
That heel.
Oh, you mustn't blame him. It's natural for a man of his kind to want to be free. And if that's the way he wants it, that's the way I want it, too. You two go on out and have a lot of fun. I'll go back up to my room. I don't want him to see me like this.
Isn't she swell?
She certainly is.
Oh, yes.
But you're 10 degrees lower than I thought you were. She's so in love with you, she can't see straight. And if you think I'm going to have anything to do with breaking her heart, you're crazy.
Susie. Mary.
Shh. Mr. Worth's waiting for you.
Why did you do that to Susie?
I don't know. I guess it was just seeing you with another woman.
What?
I don't know why I did it.
Hello, boss.
Shh. Mary has a headache.
She has a headache. What? Oh. Oh, she has. Well, that's too bad. Maybe we better leave her alone then, huh?
Hello, dear. Mr. Worth, my headache is all gone.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, now, don't be bashful in front of Mr. Worth. I feel as if you're one of the family.
That's the way I want you to feel, Mary.
Where's Chris?
He was here.
He left. He had a date tonight.
A date? I thought he was going out with us.
I had hoped that perhaps you'd come down to my country place. Stay there for the weekend.
Well, I'd love to, boss, but Mary's been looking forward to this trip. The theaters, the shops.
No, I don't want to be selfish. We'd love to go, Mr. Worth.
Oh, no, not if... Mary, this is supposed to be a sort of a second honeymoon for you.
It's a beautiful place to be alone.
And we won't tell a soul where we are.
Oh, now, wait, Mary, don't.
Oh, stop thinking about me, darling. Of course we'll go. Come on. Now, go get your bag ready. I'll call the bellboy. Hurry up, dear. Would you please send someone up for our bag? Thank you. What are you saying, darling? Mr. Worth, you've been so kind to us. A few days in the country with Joe is just what I need.
Parker?
Hello. Say, you can do me a favor. You know my friend Chris Price, the fellow in room 2109?
I think I know the fellow you mean.
Yeah. Keep your eye out for him.
You bet I will, Mr. Parker.
When you see him, give him this note.
Oh.
Well, I'll be there on time. Goodbye. Mrs. Joseph Parker, please.
Joseph Parker, please. No message,
Never
thank
mind.
you.
I'll call later.
He must be out.
Well, they were in a little while ago. I saw Mary.
Poor girl.
Who, Mary?
Do you know her well?
I know her better than anybody else in the world. I'm her husband. Her husband's best friend.
Oh, you know what Joe's like then.
Yes, but I knew her before Joe did.
She needs help right now.
Help? Mary? Why?
Well...
Pardon me.
Well...
What do you mean?
I was just calling Mrs. Parker to apologize to her.
How long have you known her?
I just met her. I had a date with her husband.
With Joe? Oh, you're Susie. Joe told me about you.
He told me Mary wouldn't mind us going out.
She wouldn't. She's a great egg.
But she did mind.
You're mistaken about that, Susie.
No woman ever mistakes the look that comes into the eyes of another woman when she talks about the man she loves.
Oh, you're really off the beat.
No. She tried to hide it. But you can't hide that, not from another woman.
Don't you worry. She and Joe aren't going to be together very long.
That's the tragedy. She's really in love with him. She looked like a bride talking about her new husband.
What's that?
As if she just became aware of how wonderful he was.
Woman's intuition at work, huh?
Call it what you like. The whole story was in her eyes. She's so in love with Joe Parker,
Susie, I'm the guy she's in love with.
You? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I must be going. I'm late.
It's all right. Things were settled a long time ago.
You're a nice man, I think. What I told you won't make you jealous, will it?
Me? Jealous of? No.
And maybe you'll make her forget him.
Trust me.
Don't forget it's awfully hard for a girl to forget a man like Joe. Goodbye.
Bye.
Good evening, Mr. Price. Nice little disguise you're wearing, but it was better when you had this on. I would have spotted you, though. You forgot to change your walk.
Will you have a drink?
Never touch it when I have the badge on. Mr. Parker left this for you.
Oh, thanks. Say, do you believe in woman's intuition?
I definitely do, sir. See it in my business every day.
I was sure you'd say that. Well, I don't. Good night.
Oh, say, If you have a little time again, try a different disguise. I like to practice on them.
Come in, children. Come in. Well, I hope you'll be very comfortable here.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Worth. Isn't this lovely?
Yes, dear. Boss, I was intending to do a little work. Perhaps, if it's convenient. I thought maybe you had a smaller room where I could put a typewriter and I wouldn't disturb Mary.
Nonsense. You're not going to do any work. This is a vacation.
Oh, yes, Joe. That's all you ever seem to think about, work. Oh, isn't this romantic? Come and see the moon, darling. It's so beautiful. And look at this balcony. Isn't it a perfect place?
Yes, it is. Mary, dear.
It just does something to me. It's like the moon in Punjab town hit the night I found I was going to live. Isn't it, dear?
Yes, dear.
Oh, I'm so glad we're here together. Hear the crickets?
Yes, dear.
Don't they sound happy?
Yes, dear, they do sound happy.
Oh, I'll bet they're not as happy as I am.
No, dear. You can save all that stuff now. Mr. Worth is gone.
Oh, I'd forgotten he was ever here.
What?
Well, I did.
Mary, what's come over you?
I don't know.
Look, Mary, I know you held my hand in the car just to impress Mr. Worth.
Yes, of course, Joe.
And I know several other evidences of being nice were part of your desire to help me. But
Joe.
Yes?
You've known a lot of women, haven't you?
Well, I suppose so. Everybody knows a lot of women.
And you know a lot about women, too.
Well, now, wait a minute, Mary. Don't get the wrong idea about me. You know, if you really knew me, you wouldn't like me at all.
Oh, how can you say that?
No, it's true. You might even hate me.
Oh, please, Joe, don't say things like that.
Why, I'm shiftless and reckless. I like to roam all over the world. And I'd never settle down, and I'm fickle. And, well, to tell you the truth, I'm not very nice. In fact, nice people say I'm a cad.
That's what makes you attractive.
Oh, no, Mary, don't talk like that. I get drunk, and I never come home, and I'm always in hock. I'm terrible. Ask anybody.
Women don't have to ask about things like that, Joe.
Look, Mary, I'm not at all like Chris. Chris is a fine fella. He's honest. He's loyal. He's faithful. Chris is the salt of the earth. He's one of the greatest guys that ever lived. He's everything that's fine. He's a real man. He's a fine husband.
Yes, but you're exciting, Joe. You're different.
But, Mary, Chris is my best friend. I'd die for him. I'd do anything in the world for him.
Chris is fine, Joe. But he'd do anything in the world to make you happy. To make us happy.
But, Mary, I'm happy right now. Chris is happy. You're happy. We're all happy. Let's keep it that way.
Oh, men are so afraid to face things realistically.
But, Mary...
Now, you go change for dinner.
I'm not going to change.
I'll teach him how to play kibbles.
Joe, you look like a man who could use a drink.
Oh, no, thank you, boss. I was just thinking. I always look like this when I'm thinking.
Nothing troubling you, I hope?
Oh, not a thing. Not a trouble in the world.
Mary all right?
Yeah, she's fine. She's changing for dinner.
Oh. I'm having a few other guests in, Joe. It was too late to cancel them out.
Oh, that's fine. The more the merrier. Of course, if we're overcrowding, I could run into town tonight.
But they're only coming to dinner.
Oh.
Joe, you and Mary haven't been having a little tiff, have you?
Mary and I? No. You've noticed him.
Well, it's nothing serious, I know. I understand those things happen in the best of families.
Oh, it's just a little flare-up. No, thank you. Mary's kind of high-strung and spirited. Sometimes she gets carried away with an idea about something or somebody. It passes just as quickly as it comes.
Well, I'm an old bachelor, and I'm not going to start giving advice to married folks at my age. But, Joe, you've got something fine in your marriage. Don't let anything or anybody spoil it for you.
Oh, no.
Oh, excuse me. Hello? Yes? Who? You tell him I'm not at home, and you don't expect me home.
Yes, sir. Mr. Worth's not at home, Mr. Price.
But he's expecting me. Call him back and tell him I've changed my mind.
I'm afraid he's changed his, too, sir. Good night.
Hey!
You've just heard a harmonica solo played by Julian Lamont.
Don't go in there. Here, boy. Here, boy.
Hey, what's this now?
Tagger's in there.
A tiger?
No. Tagger's my dog. He pulled the leash out of my hand and ran through your gate. Gee, I hope there's nobody out of doors.
What, is it vicious?
No, just temperamental. Here, boy. Here, Tagger. I was taking him to the vet. Will you see if you can find him for me? He's a Great Dane, about so big, frothing at the mouth. But don't think he's mad.
Oh, no.
He's just overheated.
Oh, I see.
And don't touch him.
Oh.
Just coax him back.
No, boy, I can't. I work here. I can't leave the gate at all.
Are there any other dogs in there?
Oh, no. Mr. Worth don't fancy them.
Oh, that's too bad. Tagger will be right in the house if he finds a door open.
In the house?
Yes.
He better not go in that house.
Have you got a bone?
Bone? No, I haven't. He'd better not go in that house.
Tagger, there he goes, up the driveway.
Can you hand him yourself?
Sure. He eats right out of my hand.
Oh. Go ahead, get him.
Here, Tagger.
Hello, Abby. How are you, Mrs. Witherspoon? So glad you could come.
Oh, so
Just in
glad
time
to
for our
be
little
here.
cocktail. You girls know where to go. Hello there, Pete. Glad to see you. Hello, Witherspoon. There's something I want to talk to you about. I'm so glad.
I had a change of plans. Found I could make it.
That's fine.
Chris, this is a surprise. Boss, you couldn't have done anything to please me more than to have Chris down here for the weekend.
Well, I'm very glad you're pleased. What happened to your date tonight?
She went out of town.
Mary, Chris is here.
Well, how are you, Christopher?
Fine. I got your note and headed right out here.
I left him a note so he'd know where to find us.
Oh, that was thoughtful of you.
Come along. We'll have a cocktail before dinner. I want you to meet these people, Mary. They've all heard me talk about you and Joe.
Come on.
You think you're pretty clever, don't you?
How do you mean?
You don't fool me for a minute.
Fool you? Oh, now listen, Chris.
I was outside the window looking in when Mary came downstairs.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. Well, she really put on an act, but you stood there like a snowman. Standing on the outside looking at the inside, she almost had me fooled.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
She must have been pretty convincing.
Convincing? Do you know what Susie said?
Susie?
Yeah, I saw her in the hotel.
Look, Chris, don't pay any attention to what Susie said. Susie's a dope.
She's a romantic dope. She said that Mary looked like a bride who just realized how wonderful her husband, meaning you, really was.
I loved hearing your stories about the Far East, Mr. Parker.
Well, thank you. They're all in my latest book.
Really?
$2.50 a copy at any bookstore.
Joe writes the books and Chris sells them. Oh, he's sweet. You know, Mr. Worth, Chris used to be my best beau before Joe came along.
You don't say.
And a very nice one, too.
I never should have let you get away from me.
Oh, but you warned me Joe's charm was fatal. He said that when Joe looked at a woman, that was the end of everything. Or the beginning.
Just the same, Mr. Price. I'm sure she had a hard time making up her mind.
Thank you.
How did you make up your mind?
Oh, I just kept thinking of what life with Joe would be like.
I told you it'd be wonderful.
How right you were.
Boss, do you think I could have a little coffee?
Why, certainly. In the living room, shall we?
Great, honey. Keep it up. I'm going to slip down to the room and want to talk to you.
You know we're suspicious. Joe said to tell you he'd be up to bunk with you.
You come along with me, Mary. I'm not going to have him lollygagging around you all evening. You had your chance and lost, young fella.
Good night, Mr. Worth. Good night, Chris.
Good night, good people.
Good night, Mary. Good night, fellas. See you at breakfast. Get a good night's sleep.
You come with me, Mr. Price. You'll find your room right at the head of these stairs.
Oh, that lovely moon's gone.
Now, don't start that again. Oh, I'm just gonna slip into these so it'll look more convincing. In case I run into the boss on my way up to Chris's room.
Oh, I told Chris you were going to stay here.
You what?
On the balcony, just so the servants won't think it's odd.
And what did he say?
He seemed to think it was a fine idea.
He did. But his place is down here with us, with you. I'm going up and talk to him.
I'm going too. We might as well all be together when I tell him.
Tell him what?
How I feel about us.
Mary.
He's sweet, Joe, and he trusts me. I can't be dishonest with him.
What are you talking about?
Oh, he'll be hurt at first, of course, and it won't be easy for me either. I do like him, you know.
Mary, you're all off the beam.
I suppose I'll always like him, but you'll understand that, I'm sure.
Mary, you can't do this.
Oh, I have to do it, Joe. When he looks at me, I feel so guilty, as if he knew what I was thinking.
But you're thinking all wrong. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
We have to face it sooner or later, and it'll be easier to face it together, darling.
Oh.
Oh, you don't want to go with me?
I certainly do not.
Then I'll go up and talk to him alone.
Mary, this is insanity.
No, it's better. One quick cut like a surgeon's knife.
How did this happen? Mary, now wait.
No, I'm going now. I might not have the courage to do it tomorrow. I've been steeling myself for it all evening.
Mary, you're not going to do it.
Yes, I am.
Oh, no, you're not. What's eating its way into your brain?
Into my heart, you mean?
Now, stop talking like that.
I didn't ask to fall in love with you. I didn't think I would or that I could.
Now, don't be a fool. You're my friend's wife. I am not in love with you, Mary. If I have given you one little indication or idea or thought that I am in love with you, I'm sorry. It's something I didn't realize.
You're just being loyal to Chris.
It's not that.
You're everything he said you were. A real friend.
It is not loyalty. I am not, will not, and never could be in love with you.
Not now, I know, but after my divorce...
I don't believe in divorce. Even if you didn't know Chris, if I didn't know him, I still couldn't be in love with you.
Oh.
I'm sorry I had to be so rough.
I don't mind.
But I just had to make you realize how unthinkable this is. Well, I'll go up and tell Chris to come down now. Tomorrow you'll laugh about this.
Tomorrow? Tomorrow's a long way off sometime.
You gonna write a few letters before you turn in?
One.
Well, I'm going up and chat with Chris.
Goodbye, Joe.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I won't be here tomorrow.
You won't? You what?
I'm writing a note to explain everything. Just as soon as I do that.
I'm going to get Chris right down here.
Goodbye, Joe.
I'm not going to leave you.
Joe, say that again.
Say what?
That you won't leave me.
Oh, Mary, this is madness.
I know it. And I can't fight it. Done.
I'm not going to give you this key.
I don't need it. I can climb down from the balcony. Good night, Joe, dear. Let's jump together.
What's the matter, Chris?
What's the matter?
Why, I took your tip and stayed out in the balcony.
What'd you do, dodge the raindrops?
No, I was undercover.
You're out in the open now.
Well, what's the meaning of this?
It means I'm getting out of here, and she's going with me. And I don't want any more talk from you.
You can't get away with this.
Kibble.
I'll get away with it all right. And if you don't think so, just try and stop me.
I knew the minute I saw you I didn't like you.
I wasn't crazy about you either.
Come on, Joe. We'll stop him. Joe. Joe, boy.
Gone. She's gone.
Come on, boy. This is fine. The fools have stolen my car. I'll call the police.
No, boss. Let them go.
Let them go? Why, I'll hound them to the end.
No, boss. Maybe she'll be happier now.
Joe, you're too noble. You've been blind. I knew that fellow meant no good from the very day I met him.
You did? Well, I just remembered something. It happened in Punjab Tanheed when she was delirious. She murmured his name.
She did.
I always wondered why. Now I know. Now I understand everything. Send me back to the Far East, boss. Send me back to my work. Our work. The rest is ashes.
So it's funny, is it? Laugh. Go ahead and laugh. You and Joe. You of all people. You don't know what you've done.
I finally made you carry the ball.
You made me lose faith. What'd you say?
Oh, it took a long time to do it, but I finally made you carry the ball.
Why, you little
I really had to kibble poor Joe to keep him out on the balcony that long.
I ought to wring your neck.
Oh, no, not right now.